ATG from Kilmarnock town, got your hustle down. Streams the pool games live, makes our day come alive. Early mornings on your grind, Tesco shift unwind, but you find the time to play, stream the virtual day. OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. Virtual cue in your hand.
And it's a sucker scratch. Look at the line. Commentator's eye. Don't say I didn't warn you.
OTG tactical genius, every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. Virtual cue in your hand, amazing shots you land. From your home to our screens, living out our pool dreams. Early Streams of games just for fun. We'll cheer for you every match. TG, you've got the magic touch. Oh, TG, tactical genius. Every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there. For TG, tactical genius. Every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there.
This for the 101. Absolutely sensational once again.
Virtual cue in your hand. Amazing shots you land. From your home to our screens, living out our pool dreams. Early riser, work all done. Streams of games just for fun. We'll cheer for you every match. TG, you've got the magic touch. Oh, TG, tactical genius. Every game you bring us with your skill and your flair. We're glad you're always there.
That was fantastic.
How's the cue ball going?
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
Well, good evening. There's not many people around, is there? Neither in the tournament nor on the stream. We're here for Friday Night 9-Ball. Welcome back to VP4TV. And last week we managed to squeeze 10 in. I don't think we're going to get that tonight. Strange thing is that One Pocket Slim signed up like 10 minutes ago and now he's not there. He's disappeared. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, if he signed back up, we would have 10, but we've got Bankster, Brain Pullout, Gunnit, Jezdev, Larry, Miasma, Progressive Pool, Spectre Don, and Stefan. And we've still got about 4 minutes or so for anybody else to get in. One other thing also, of course, we have the live stream of the Virtual World Snooker Championship Final, the 2024 VP4 Virtual World Snooker Championship, and that's between Albinario and MC Clarkey. And that will start at 1700 hours, 5 PM British Summer Time on Sunday afternoon. It is a race to 9. If it goes all the way, it could be quite a while. But if these guys get their scoring boots on, frames won't take all that long. But if it does get tactical, it could drag on for a good few hours. So race to 9, so possibly 17 frames could get played in that final. Albinario, of course, multiple Virtual World Championships that he's won. Far too many people would say, but that's up to them to stop him. And Matt MC Clarkey is going to have that opportunity on Sunday afternoon because he's looking for his maiden Virtual World Championship title. And he's certainly got the game to cause Albinario problems. Is he going to be able to sustain that for the duration? Well, we will find out on Sunday afternoon. But back to the matter in hand. If I can get this damn thing to work. We're here for the tournament tonight. We've got just over 2 minutes to go. And we will see if we can squeeze another sign up. Quick update and check. So how many we got? It still gets, yeah, we're still one short of double figures. Still plenty of seats available, but it just seems to be getting very quiet Friday night 9-ball. I don't know what the reason is. Summer's almost over. And sign-ups are pretty much closed. Now, right now, there is only me on Twitch and one other person who isn't speaking. And according to my info there is nobody on YouTube. So we don't know whether YouTube chat is working. I've decided I'm going to stick with the Twitch chat on my phone because it seems to be more reliable, where I can get a feed through from Twitch as well as YouTube. YouTube seems to be acting up lately. I don't know what it is. But anyway, the tournament will be over all the sooner. I'll get to bed all the earlier because it's the usual early start, and of course I'll start to go downhill as well. So Friday night 9-ball brackets are up. I don't know what happened to Slim. Maybe he got a call away or something. He was in and then he was out. So we're going to have a number of buys, obviously. There's going to be, by the look of it, 2 first-round matches. We've got Brainful out against Stefan. We've got, oh dear, look who Larry's got again. The Danger Man. Bankster with a handicap. He's getting the 7 ball. And we know the dangers that Bankster can cause because he's a good enough player to pop balls and get out. So that match will be the match we'll go in and watch. All these other matches are all going to be second round matches starting. And Spectre Don is already through there. He plays Eloquente. And Jezdev waits on the winner of that Stefan Brainful out match. And Gunnett waits on the winner of the match that we're going to be watching. So we're going to pop in there. If we can find it, there it is. Oh, I need to change the cloth colour. Well, I don't know what the hell happened to Bankster, but that has got to be the worst lag you've ever seen. So Larry's in. And Bankster getting that 7 ball, and the 7 ball has gone in as a number of other balls have gone in, the 1 ball included. So the 7 ball will come up. And this 3 ball, it does go clean. Well, already this should be a pretty good start for Larry. He's just got to get from that 8 ball up to the 9. A lot simpler with all the less balls on the table, down to those last 2. Good evening to Mark. You're the only person on YouTube. Bear in mind that we have got Twitch back up and running, and I'm on Twitch chat on my phone, and the feed is coming through from YouTube. So you're the only person there. In fact, you've ditched YouTube and you're going to Twitch. So a good start from Larry. Couldn't have asked for much better. Winning the lag, breaking 3 or 4 balls in the break, and a fairly straightforward run out. Two ball is gone. I don't know that Bankster's going to have much of a shot in a second or two. I mean, he's got an easy hit, and he always has that chance that he could bump this 1 ball in, but he's caught it half ball. Well, since I sent away for my NEC card, my bus pass, the first one they refused it because they didn't like the photograph, and I sent in a second one last Sunday after, and then in fact, I'll tell you, I sent one earlier than that, but I got an email through on Sunday telling me that it had been accepted and that my card will be on the way. So we're sitting here on Friday and I still haven't my bloody card through yet. Well, Larry's just got to get out of the way of that 8 ball to see enough of the 4. And he's done that, and now, of course, the cue ball's going to come over to the right as we look. He should have plenty of space to get onto that 5 ball. And also a nice angle where if he doesn't scratch in the left side pocket, he should be good in the 6. Oh no, they're never in a bloody hurry. That's one thing I can confirm. They are never in a hurry. I've been watching some videos on YouTube. There's a Scottish guy who does travelogues on buses and various other things, trains and stuff like that. One of his videos last night I watched, he was on, he rented out an overnight stay in a signal box, which is up on Rannoch Moor, which is, if you know where Rannoch Moor is in Scotland, it's between, the easiest way to describe it is when you're heading up the west side of Scotland and going up to Fort William. You got the A82 and you got past Crean Larach, and you end up going up onto Rannoch Moor, which is a wilderness. There's absolutely nothing on it, and that's exactly what it is. It's a windswept, boggy land. There's nothing there but mountains and moor. And away over on the far side, if you're on the A82 driving up the Rannoch, you can look away over to the right, you'll see virtually nothing. But there is a railway line, and there is a station called Career Station. And it's like the highest point on the Western railway line up north, but there's actually a junction box that has been renovated, and it costs you like £100 odd a night, and they hired out this junction box to stay there. Oh, he's keen. And in another one of his videos, his travelogue was from Norway, I think it was. I think it was in Oslo. And there's actually an airport there that has a jumbo jet almost sitting right next to the main street. You know, it's in the extremity of the airport. But this old jumbo jet, it's a 747, you know, the one with the big double deck, and it's been decommissioned and it's been turned into a hotel. And he paid £100 odd for an overnight stay, but guess where he actually lived? He wasn't actually in the cabin. There are rooms in the cabin. You can actually pay the top whack if you want to have the cabin that's up at the flight deck. But he actually had a room that was in one of the engines. One of the engine housings. You know, the jumbo jets have got 4 big engines. Big Rolls Royce engines. Well, they're obviously all cleaned out, and there's a ladder goes up to the door. You use your little check-in card, and you scan it, and it opens the door, and you go in, and you've got your little bed. You've got Wi-Fi, and not a heck of a lot more than that. So he paid for that. Guy's crazy. You can tell. Obviously, he's retired. And this is what he's doing with his retirement funds. He's making these travelogues. Guy's crazy, though. Anyway, to the matter in hand here, Larry had a good start, but now he finds himself 2 apiece. Well, Bankster had a go at the combo with the 2-7, and Larry's got a perfect angle on the 2 just to find that gap between the 9 and 5, but he's got to get as good as he can on this 3 ball. But if he goes too far, the 5 will block him out. You see, he's left it short, and now he's, I don't know whether he's going to let it run or try and stun away from this and draw away from the 8 ball. I think he is. Now, this could go wrong because it's a sharpish angle. So he just decided to let it run out. and he managed to avoid it. Now he's actually sitting pretty good. Oh, here we go, Banksters. Is this the same internet cafe he was in last week? I think it is. It must be. But it must have a much better connection than at home if he's in there the last 2 weeks. Internet cafe, I wouldn't say they're probably the most reliable, but he must prefer that than being at home. You're going to fortnightly bin collect. Well, that depends what bins you're talking about, Mark. I mean, see, we've got 3 bins. The green one, which is the household rubbish. You've got a brown bin, you know, the big wheelie bins, and then you've got a third one, which is actually it looks like a trolley, you know, that you tilt up and then you wheel it out. But it's actually got 3 separate boxes on it. The top box is for cardboard and paper. The middle one is for plastics, and the bottom one is for glass. So that goes out every Friday, that one. The green one goes out every 3 weeks, and the brown one goes out, I think, once a month, which is for your garden waste, your brown one, you know, grass cuttings, hedge cuttings, and that sort of stuff. And then, of course, a couple of weeks ago there, we had the threat of a strike, where they weren't going to be collecting anything, but that's been held off. They cancelled it. So, but I don't know. I mean, household week, and then recycling following week. All right. So you see, you're set up. But everybody's got that. Every council throughout the country. See that lag there in that shot. By the way, I noticed that. Every council's got all sorts of setups. I think I read something the other day, and I saw a headline, but I never read it. But there's one place in the UK, it's obviously in England, where they seem to think they've got the most bins that they have to deal with. You know, rather than just having like 3 sort of systems like we've got, they've got maybe 5 or 6, which is bloody ridiculous. You know, all this recycling crap. They can simplify it better than that, than having umpteen different bins. Well, Bankster just needs to make sure he doesn't hook himself in a 5 here. He could get really awkward. Well, he's made sure he got out, but this 5 ball, well, it's not tight, but he just needs to watch the pace. He's going to come up the right-hand side, and he's left it a wee bit shortish. But this to tie it up, and that's what happens. You leave them short and square, you end up with that nasty blind cutback, and bye-bye to that rack. Well, I'm surprised Cobra's been sitting in the lobby all afternoon since I've been in looking around, and he's obviously there in the lobby, but he's not there physically because he signed up last week to the tournament, and I don't quite work out what happened to Slim. He was signed up like 15 minutes before the tournament started, and then he disappeared. And Miasma has signed up and has forgot to show up, I think, as well. So there's your first forfeit of the night. Well, Baxter's got ball in hand, so he'll probably roll this one ball into the, well, he's going to draw back, but he could roll it into the other side pocket and just roll through for the two. Now, that is a terrible shot. Because if he'd potted it in the other pocket, all he had to do, and he's fluked to 9, would you believe it? Well, I didn't know that was in the plan. I didn't realise that one. So he nips one back. But he really should have just hit ball in hand and rolled that ball into the left side pocket, and then he was through on the 2 and he was fine. But he'll take the fluke. Now is he going to try the combo? Yes, he was. Oh, look at this 9 again. Unbelievable. 2 in a row. No wonder Larry's sighing. Unbelievable. Oh dear. And we're all square. 4 apiece. I told you Bankster's dangerous, but I didn't think he was that jammy though. Now, just to give you an idea, there's that 1 ball, 1, 2. The delay on Twitch is about 2 seconds right now. So you're seeing it as live as you can. And meanwhile, Larry ended up hooked. Bankster's got ball in hand again. Now, up the table for the 3 into the same pocket would be the wise move. He's overcooked that by a country mile. He couldn't have played that any worse. Touch like a sledgehammer. That's where you need to control that stun draw. Now we're getting lag. You can see that lag thing going through the game there. That's a pause that's happening. Put it the other side. What are we talking about? That live logo is annoying. All right, I've got you. No, I'm not going to touch it. You just have to let it annoy you. It's no interfering with watching the actual table, is it? Come on, you're nitpicking. Well, this 7 ball's going to be awkward. Now, Larry's got to get up or down the table towards us here. And that's pretty good, as long as he doesn't go straight. I think that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Nice angle, out for the 8. Can't see room chat. Well, Larry doesn't say much. So far, all he's said is wow, is sigh. Bankster said wow. I'll translate it for you. And anyway, if I did start moving things around, I'd have to move the chat as well. And I ain't doing that. So Larry with a 5-4 lead, trying to squeeze the 2 past the 6. Again, he doesn't want to get into this cue ball too much. Well, this could go wrong. He's got to come off 2 rails here and back into the table. He doesn't want to hook himself behind the 8. If some players play way above their nominal rating, please PM me. What's that got to do with it? But did Miasma quit his match because progressive pool is better than his rating? Well, maybe that's why Miasma's not happy. Well, Miasma was in last week's Friday Night 9-ball, as was progressive pool, so he should have a fair idea that his rating doesn't reflect the sort of level he plays at. It only reflects the fact he hasn't played an awful lot. So Larry on the hill. Cue ball's gone. And Bankster, well, he can't afford a mistake now. So ball in hand on the 1. And of course the other bit of bad news for Bankster is that the 7 ball has gone. So yeah, the 7 should have come up. But I think that is a valid point by Larry. Yeah, the 7, it's not as if the spot's blocked for the 7. That's weird. Although Larry shouldn't be too bothered because it means Bankster has to clear the table. But that's strange. If that 7 went in the break, I never noticed if it did. I wasn't paying attention. No, of course he's not a noob. But like I said, he's not played enough 9-ball for his rating to reflect that. Well, Steve needs to know about that, because there's obviously a bug there as well. Then that's the first time I've seen that happen, where the money ball hasn't come up. No. I would no. If any money ball goes down in the break, it should come back up, regardless of who potted it. Well, Larry was up to his old tricks here, trying to scratch again. That's the assumption, but I've never seen that happen. That's the first time that. Well, I actually never seen it anyway because I was too busy looking at the chat because I wasn't sure whether it went in the break or not. But Larry's obviously paying attention. I wonder if Steve is looking at my snooker bug that we found the other day. Well, he's got another one as well. It might be difficult to track down though. Oh, look at the way this 6 ball's just finished. Oh, forgot he's still to pot the 4. Yeah, Steve. I had Steve in chat the other night there, and I got him to watch the video. And Steve thought the same thing that me and Matt thought, that when we actually, I mean, we were obviously checking it to see if the actual call a draw worked, and that worked. There wasn't a problem with the call a draw, but how I tested it was we lagged off. I won the lag, and before I even broke the balls, I called a draw, and Larry's through by 7 racks to 5. So before I broke the balls, I called a draw, and the rack restarted again, and we both had to lag again. And when the balls had finished the lag, nothing happened. The two cue balls just sat on the table. The game did not move on. It didn't progress. The thing is that what should have happened is that when we lagged off the first time round, and I called a draw before breaking the balls, when it reset again, I should have had the break. It shouldn't have forced us to lag the second time. So that's definitely a broken part of it. So Steve's got that to look at. Now, this Brainful Out Step-In match is dragging on a bit. Let's have a look at that, if we can get in. And it's 4 apiece in this match, no handicap. So it's amazing how you find a bug when you're trying to establish if a reported bug is there. Now, I said to Steve, but he never gave me a reply. I said, what shouldn't have happened the other night there when we had that match with Albinario, where that incident happened with Keith? They had a stalemate where there was 2 reds over the top left and right corner pockets, and you couldn't play into baulk or you were leaving a shot in the red. And the 2 players agreed to call a draw, and when one of them looked at the menu in game, there was no option to call a draw. And when they passed it to the other player, he had no option to call a draw. And that's where Keith sort of lost his patience and just burst the balls open and all of that stuff. But there was clearly a problem with the system. Steve said, yes, there was a problem with the server that night. And so all we were doing was just checking to make sure that call a draw was working, but then that other bug showed its ugly head. Now, I like to spin this 3 rails. The only danger with this is you can get out of there clean, but let's see. No, he's coming across. He needs to watch the bump, and that's perfect. I think that was too sharp an angle to try 3 rails, to be honest with you, but he played it well enough. Oh no, he's never going to ask for advice and that sort of stuff. Oh, I've started yawning already, and it's not even 7:30. Good God. Well, here's a thing. I was sitting having a cup of coffee this afternoon, and I switched on Channel 4, and I was watching the Paralympics. And the first time I've ever seen wheelchair rugby. And I can best describe it as a bunch of thugs in wheelchairs beating the shit out of each other. That's the best way to describe it, because you can actually tackle. So you get it's like bumper cars at going to the like Blackpool, bumper cars or whatever, and they're knocking lumps out of each other. I don't know how I mean, I don't know how the scoring works. It just basically means you can back your wheelchair over the line between two markers, and that apparently is a try, but it doesn't score tries like it does in real rugby. I think you get like 2 points or something. But these guys are built like brick shithouses, all in wheelchairs, obviously, because they've obviously got various form of disabilities. But these are guys that just want to beat the shit out of people, and they're playing this wheelchair rugby. It's bloody brutal. You want to watch that for a laugh. I tell you. I'm surprised they've all got knuckles, because you're batting around there. All sorts of injuries can happen to you. Well, the swimming I was watching today, they've obviously got, they've got all these different categories of disabilities, different levels of disability, depending on what functionality you've got and various limbs that you've got. And the swimming I was watching, some of them were in the water before the thing started, if you know what I mean. Some of them were in the water, and some of them were on the little pedestal thing, diving in. And then with the camera under the water, the guy I seen, he was doing all his swimming with his arms. There was no life in his legs. You think how tough that is to swim when all you're doing is using your bloody arms. Clearly he couldn't use his legs. He had all his limbs, but the only part of his body that was working was his shoulders and his arms. Now, that must be bloody tiring, that. And then there was another one who had the bottom half of their sort of left arm missing, and I think everything else was working. I think their legs were okay, but they only had like one functional arm that could pull them through the water. Well, this match has got going all the way written all over it, hasn't it? That's why it's taking so long. We're already, 33 minutes into this match. Well, he tried to bank onto the 8, but it didn't go. Now, does that 3 go? Oh, that's way too tight. He's got the cover. I watched a bit of a documentary the other day there, and the Paralympics actually started, and it was initiated, I think, by Stoke Mandeville Hospital down in England, which cares for, it gives treatment and sort of training for those who have disabilities, various forms of disabilities. And I think they started it locally, where they had this was years and years ago, where they had a sort of competition, a sort of sports day thing that they had. And to cut a long story short, it all developed into the Paralympics. It's amazing how things like that start. I think this is the first time that the Americans are actually getting seen into the Paralympics. This time, I don't think they've ever really been bothered about the Paralympics in the past, but I think I heard that it's the first time that there's going to be some coverage of the Paralympics in the States. I'll tell you what the crazy thing is when you see the sight impaired 100-meter runners running. I mean, they've obviously got a guy tethered to them to guide them. I mean, all of that sort of stuff they're doing is just crazy. And then you've got the other one is that when you've got those sprinters that have got they've got no legs at all, and they've just got those big springy feet things, you know, like the best way to describe it is that they look like kangaroo legs, if you know what I mean. They'll get the big springy feet, and again, with having no leg muscles and no thigh muscles and calf muscles and anything like that, they're belting down the bloody track with these legs on. I mean, that just got to put more stress in your body doing that. But I suppose your body, through time, compensates, and other muscles come into play when you're doing that sort of stuff, or putting your body through that sort of stress. It's just amazing looking at how they can belt round a track. They've got nothing from the waist down, basically. That 3 going to go in? Yes, it has. So, brain pull out. Just these 4 balls to take this all the way. And we're back to the same old story here, Mark. We've got, well, if you're still there, Mark, you've got myself and you in Twitch and 6 other people in YouTube. Now, don't forget, I'm more than happy for people to subscribe to me on YouTube and watch it on Twitch, because you get the fastest turnaround for the live stream on Twitch. As long as you subscribe. I notice that this is a thing I should be reminding people all the time, because there's been reports on YouTube about people subscribers being deleted. So if you are a subscriber, always double check that you're still subscribed, because this happens. It's YouTube that's doing it. They seem to be unsubscribing people from channels. I don't know how, or I don't know why, but there's been ongoing reports of that happening. So I've lost a subscriber today. And I'm still miles away from 1,000. Still a long way. I've been at it since 2007. I just wish I was one of these cheery, funny guys and witty guys, and had all the equipment and did games that these people were interested. See, Virtual Pool 4 doesn't catch an audience. First and foremost, you have to be interested in billiards and pool and snooker. If you've got no interest in it, then a channel like this is no good to you. If you're doing big popular games and all of that stuff, and you've got all the right rig and the right setup, and you're a cool looking guy or girl, and I have to say on that matter, I was watching a live stream on YouTube today, and this how's the best way to be politically correct? Oh, look at that for a fluke. Oh dear. Well, was it was a fluke? It was a scratch as well, wasn't it? Oh no, it wasn't. I thought it was a fluke in the 9. My bad. I was watching a video on YouTube today, a live stream today, and it was a very I'm trying to be politically correct here, remember. There was a very nice looking Asian young lady who was live streaming. Now, she's got the green screen and all of that set up, and a high quality mic, and she was doing what do you call that, Star Wars Outlaw game. And I watched it. There was a guy in the chat who said and this is what he said, talking about political correctness. He said, can I sleep with you? And within the space of him typing that, she'd booted him out the door. That's how we deal with him. She tossed him out straight away. But she was nice looking. I can see why she's got a number of. She had about 87 viewers watching her. She got a lot more because she's very nice looking. It's worth watching just to watch her rather than watch the bloody game. which is another reason why I don't use the webcam. And I really need to get a 60 FPS webcam because everything's out of sync on that webcam when you're doing a live stream, because it's only 30 FPS. Well, Brainful Out looks as if he's finally going to get himself over the line. It's been a long drawn-out affair. 40 minutes, 41 minutes, and a 7-6 win for Brainful Out. Right, let's have a quick update here, because we won't be here all that long tonight, I don't think. That match will update in a second. In fact, we'll just refresh view and that'll do it. So we've got Brainful Out, Jez Dev round 2. We've got Eloquenti, Spectre Dawn. That's a result I missed. Spectre Dawn's going through that 7-3, so he's battering on already. You've got Progressive Pool through to round 3, waiting on the winner of Larry and Gunnet. You have Brainful Out about to start with Jez Dev. Bankster is 2-1 up against Eloquenti on the one-loss side. Let's just nip in, if we can get in and have a look at that. Now, again, this is for latecomers. Don't forget that we have the final of the Virtual World Snooker Championship on Sunday afternoon, British summertime. It starts at 1700 hours, 5 PM. The live stream should be up and running by 10 to the hour. And we have multiple world champion or virtual world champion Albinario from Sweden up against MC_Clarkey from England, going for his maiden title in a race to 9. I hope you can join us on Sunday afternoon for that. And then, thank God, this tournament will be over. It will never be run in July again, I can assure you. Now, I don't know why that keeps doing that. That's bugged slightly, that it keeps jumping back to that and then it goes back to it. That's a bug. And it's a bug that's only happened since the update they did to XSplit Broadcaster. Well, that was worth the visit. Bankster's going home early tonight. Eloquenti with a 4-2 win. And that was a scratch match as well. Right, so things are shaping up. Eloquenti is now Spectre Dawn's next victim. Eloquenti is... tell a lie, I got that wrong. That was the one-loss side. Where did Eloquenti go? He's through. He's waiting on... I don't know who the hell he's waiting on. But anyway, Brainful Out and Jez Dev are underway. Jez Dev's getting a 6 ball. What else is happening? There's not really a lot happening. Larry's 4-1 up against Gunnet. Gunnet's getting 7 and out. Well, let's go in and catch Brainful Out again. So Jez Dev getting a 6 ball. That 9 ball, look where it's hanging. Now the 4 ball doesn't go. Well, you're going to be real cute if you're going to try and snooker Jez Dev behind that 5. Is he trying a combo? Because that cue ball's asking to scratch off an edge of that 5. He hits the 4 and then hits the 5, he'll scratch, I think. Well, he played. Now, well, if the 7 ball wasn't there, I'd be kicking at that. Now, you can double kiss the 4 to get the cue ball up the table, but Jez Dev didn't fancy it, and Brainful Out's actually got the gap. He can play this. Well, good evening to Chimpy. He's appeared out the woodwork. Long time no see. So Brainful out off the mark. Well, that 8 ball might not get there. So the break's dry. This is either a combo into the 8 or a very thin cut into the side, but the thin cut, the cue ball's running loose. 8 ball's gone in as well. And 2 ball blocked by the 5. You see nothing changed. In what respect? Friday night 9 ball is, well, it's been very quiet for the last couple of months. We had 10 in last week. We'll get 9 in this week, I think. In fact, you didn't even get yourself into the 8 ball World Championship. It's a full field, so you're too late now. And there's 3 great first round ties in that tournament, by the way, not to be missed. Not to be missed. You've got Cobra up against, what do you call him? Stubb. And you've got Larry against Spectre Dawn. And I can't remember who won Pocket Slim Plays. Somebody will remind me. But that's 3 great first round matches in that tournament. It starts on the 11th of September. Or at least the tournament will go live then. The bracket will go live. Does Slim play Matt? Is anybody looking at that bracket? I can't remember who Slim plays. I was thinking that you dragged him in there, Mark. He's just turned up out the blue, is that what you're saying? An uninvited guest? Well, Jess Dev just needs that 5 and 6 ball. Well, he's ended up good after brushing the 9 ball. And he's hung the 6. We know that. Tell me something new. Do you get your, that's what I meant to ask, Mark. Do you not get your English bus pass, Mark? Because there's obviously an English one. And then we've got our national entitlement card up here that just covers Scotland down as far as Carlisle. November you get yours. Oh, of course, that's right, because it's you don't get it at 60, that's right, I forgot that. I've been watching these travelogue videos on YouTube simply because I've been looking for ideas. I really do fancy getting the bus up to Skye. and maybe getting a little sort of bed sit overnight, maybe sometime next summer, something like that, when we've got some decent weather. But that's the one thing about Scotland, you can't, especially up the west coast, you can't guarantee decent weather any time of the year. Yeah, as far as I know, I get discounted rail travel on British Railways, and if I'm in Glasgow, I can use it in the underground. I think you get concessionary rates there as well. But I can go on pretty much all the bus services up here, as far as I know. And it's been that long since I've really been on a bus for any length of time. No, not peak hours. That's just been pernickety, that is. Good evening to Cobra. Now, why didn't you sign up, Cobra? You were sitting there in the lobby for hours, probably not even in front of the PC. But if you did, we would have had 10 in tonight. We've only got 9 in. Yeah, I put Twitch on the last couple of weeks. I think mainly because I've set up my XSplit broadcaster again. No time. Well, that's what we're saying. 15 minutes before this tournament started tonight, One Pocket Slim signed up. And then the next time I looked at the list of players signed up, he was gone. So something obviously cropped up with Slim, or we would have had 10 in. Well, there's a result through. Larry's marching on as well. A 7-2 win against Gunnett. Brainful out 3-0 up at the moment. Well, just needs to thin cut the one, and anywhere up the table he can play the 2-3 combo, and he should be out here. He really should be out. Oh dear. Well, he got that all wrong. And he's going to get away with it. Although I don't know how good Jesdev is with a jump cue, or whether he has one or not. But it looks fairly straightforward to jump over the 5 and cut the 1, but he didn't. Well, watch this 1 ball. Oh, I think that 1 ball was going to knock the 3 in there, but it clipped the cue ball. So Brainflout's got away with it. But Brainflout can't pot this 1 ball. That's 2 goes he's had at it. He's eventually going to pay the price if Jesdev gets his head screwed on here. Got to get high up the table. Well, that's high enough. Oh dear. Oh dear. The standards are slipping badly. Now, here's your 3rd attempt, Brainflout. 3rd attempt. So once again, unless he can just nip back off that 4 ball past the 8, or spin up the table. Oh, that's a nothing shot, that. Yeah, I mean, you've got all that acreage up the table there. Is that the 4 ball or the 8 ball? My bad. I'm leaning back my chair. I was thinking that was the 8 ball. My bad. Well, you see, if I'm lying back my chair, that 4 ball just looks like an 8 ball to me. Well, this is finished dead straight. That's 5. But if he just bumps back off it, he's got the 6 into the side. There shouldn't be any problem. So this is where you get that stun. You see, he's letting things run. He could easily have just stopped that there. And now he's got slightly the wrong angle on the 6. Just managed to kill it. So 4-0. And he should have a comfortable win here, Brainful Out. And while that's going on, let's just have a quick update. We've got Eloquente waiting to play the winner of this match. We've got Larry now playing Progressive Pool. And, well, there's what Miasma's talking about. Progressive Pool's getting 5 and out against Larry. Larry's in serious trouble there. Larry's in a match where he can't afford any mistakes, giving 5 and out to this guy. Very dangerous. So now it's ball in hand and a free goal. So you get 2 ball over the corner, so no problem with the 1 and 2, no problem with the 3. Just roll that 3 in, get the cue ball into the gap with the 5 and 8, roll the 4 into the side, 5 back into the corner, 6 up top, but you've got to... The tricky one is potting the 6 ball and getting nice in the 7. It looks simple, but we'll soon see how simple that is when Brainful Out gets there. So he's got the initial part okay, just drop the 3 in, roll the 4 in, deal with the 5. But then it's how he plays this 6 ball to get on the 7. And that's where the mistake can happen. Multiple or shadows accounts should merit a ban. Well, there's 2 ways to look at it. According to the terms and conditions, I believe that is part of the rules. But the other way to look at it is that if somebody has bought an account, let's say they've got a 9ball.com account, and then that person then logs out and logs in and creates a new account called Tactical Genius. Now, when I say creates a new account, I'm talking about a paid account. I'm talking about, I've paid my $10 for the year subscription, and I've got 2 live active accounts that are both bought and paid for. Now, you've then got to ask yourself the question, does Steve live up to his rules and ban one of them and cancel their subscription, or does he accept the fact that they've paid good money to have a second account? Thereby lies the dilemma. Now, if you've got multiple, what do you call it, accounts, gratis accounts, like what that nutcase guy, what the hell's his name? I'm sure he's got a number of accounts. He seems to be getting away with it as well, because he's not getting banned for life or anything like that. So the rules are there, but they're not being interpreted and they're not being actioned on. Aye, snakes. You know, that's, you know, the rules are there, but they're not being dealt with. And I think, to be honest with you, Steve's got far too much on his plate to be bothering about that each day he comes to deal with VP4. That's the last thing in his list of things to do. You really need somebody where that was their job and that's all they did. But, I mean, the game's dead enough as it is without chucking other people out. And Stefan has taken care of Miasma. 4 racks to 1. And meanwhile, Brainful Out marches on. 5 racks to 0 up. And Larry is 1 apiece with Progressive Pool. Spectrodon still waits on the winner of this match. Was it Lee? I'm trying to remember who was moaning in the lobby earlier on this afternoon. Was it Lee Acted Alone that was complaining about a guy from Vietnam who had a gratis room up, and I think he was in playing him at 9-ball, and the guy quit on him. So he was moaning about that. But that just goes back to my point that I keep making about new players coming online. Even if they're just, you know, they're on as gratis, they're coming on. They've got that silly little table, the little bar table, and they're playing 9-ball. And if they've never played virtual pool before or anything like that, then they might not be at any type of level where they're going to be good enough to be winning racks. And clearly, this guy wasn't. And so this is another player who doesn't get instant success when they come online. And so he thought better of it and bailed out. And this is what happens to a lot of players. And it goes back to my point about they're not getting what they want in this game. It's too bare bones. It's too hardcore. Watch that cue ball. And they can't set a room where they've got tracking aids and that sort of thing to help them. And so they might drop in here, and then they might well find out, or they may well have found out that Shooter's Pool is there. And there is a heck of a lot of players from the Far East in that game. Some of them have trickled in here, but because there's been a few Vietnamese players in here, notably. But I think every single one of them is gratis. And unless you give the people what they want, the numbers will reflect that. And I think that's part and parcel of why VP4 is as dead as it is. Because if you do what Shooter's Pool have done, and you put the option to have tracking lines and that sort of thing, and you can set a room to that level that you want, and so players that you play or players that look at a room and come into that room, they know what they're getting. Then everybody's happy, and them that don't like it go out that room and set their own room to their own settings with their aiming aids and that sort of thing. And you've got a lot more players in there, and I think that's partly the reason. I don't think it's all the reason. Obviously, Shooter's Pool looks a lot nicer than Virtual Pool 4. As I've said before, the sales purchases and the price of other things you want to buy are a lot more reasonable than they are in VP4. Queues are a lot better, multiple choices of tables. You know, you buy what you want. Ball sets, everything is all at a much more fairer price than Virtual Pool 4 has. So, yeah, you've got loads of gratis players in Shooter's Pool as well, yeah. Loads of them. Thing is, though, I don't know what the restrictions are, you know, what choices they have in Shooter's Pool compared to VP4, but it must be something similar or slightly better. I don't really look into it in that much detail, and I haven't been in for quite a while. But I know that if we went over there right now, there'd be a couple of hundred people online. There's that pause again. But a good recovery jump shot there from Brainful out. And he just needs to, I think the angle he's got in this 6 ball might be too much. I don't know what, I think he's going to have to cut and try and avoid the bump in the 7 and get back into the table. I know I'm sounding like a broken record when I say that about the differences between Shooter's Pool and VP4, but some of it might not be correct, but then again, more of it might be hitting the nail on the head. The people are getting what they want. They've got a better looking game, but overall, for sales of stuff for them that do want to buy into the game and buy bits and pieces, everything's a lot more reasonably priced. So, Brainful out is done and dusted, 7-0. Jesdev moves across. We're going to jump straight into this match with Larry and Progressive Pool. And Progressive Pool's 3-2 up at the moment. Now, last week was the first week I had a look at this guy, and he's no newbie. He's got a fair idea of what he's doing. But his rating that he's got is just a sort of given rating, which is probably something he got in a challenge room. But the more Friday night, he hasn't played enough matches to have a proper rating yet, and there's no way his rating's 1578. That'll change dramatically if he becomes a more regular player. And then he might not find it quite as easy and comfortable. Well, he left himself awkward over the 6 ball there, Larry. And of course, making the mistake at this business end of the rack, where every ball is a money ball, he's going to pay the price. This isn't a gimme though, this 5 ball. And that was Progressive Pool's chance there. Well, I'll say this, Cobra. You've really got to spend a fair bit of time on Shooter's Pool and spend a fair bit of time tweaking the settings. That's something you do need to do, and that's something I've never really done in any great detail, I'll be honest with you. But I think you really need to spend a fair bit of time tweaking things and sliding things up and down slightly and testing it, you know, to get your touch. But I really don't think any of us have got the inclination, you know, as best as you can. But then again, you've just got to stick with it long enough to get more familiar with it. Well, Larry's going to square the match. I'll have a quick drink. I bought 4 new 5-litre bottles of water today. I'm still in my last one that I had from the last time I bought them, and I've got what I've certainly. I think I'll get. Well, I don't know, half a litre or 3/4 of a litre left in this one. Lovely. I noticed that Semi-Pro's done a couple of videos recently on Shooter's Pool. I think he was playing, I don't know who the guy was, but he had him in Discord. And Semi-Pro needs to up his volume level on his mic. He's really, really quiet. And then he was doing 9-ball practice or something. Well, as long as Larry doesn't make mistakes at this point in the rack, and this is where a mistake could happen. Well, he's billiarded the 9 in, and that takes any options of mistakes out. Gets himself back in front. Break is dry. This cue ball is running over to the left. He's managed to hold it. Now, he doesn't want to get crazy here and hope he gets lucky in the 3-ball. I mean, the 5 and 6 are tied up. But you're taking a big risk trying to bump them and get lucky. Now, he's got... I don't know that he's got enough angle. Well, let's see if he gets a... Oh, I forgot about the 4-ball. I'm falling asleep, guys. I forgot the 4-ball was there. Well, this isn't good either because he maybe clunk into that 7. No, he's missed it. Oh, is he going to get a nice little lunge? Well, is it going to go through the gap? Oh dear. It will go through the gap. It will go into the side as well. Well, he's had 2 shots at 5-balls. Have never been exactly roll them in dead easy. This isn't easy either. He's got that thin gap where it will go into the corner. He's got 2/3 of a pocket. And if he gets it wrong, he might go in off the 9. No, he's hit that far too thin. The cue ball's gone. And his chance is gone. I saw Simi's Shooter's Pool. Well, you did. No, it doesn't look shite, for God's sake. Depends what room you're in as well. There's a lot of nice rooms in Shooter's Pool. Don't just try and rip into it for the sake of ripping into it. There's some nice rooms. The tables are a lot nicer looking than these things. You know, give credit where credit's due. But I don't think all those people are playing there just because it looks nicer. Let's just settle it that way. They're not just looking at it and playing it because it looks nicer. It's all the other factors I've mentioned that probably play a big part in it as well. Pricing, that sort of thing. And the other thing I still don't understand is that I have still got credits in my account. Not a lot, I think I've got £1,000 something. And I've never put any more money into that Shooters Pool account, and I've never had to renew anything online. I've never had to pay a fee to renew it for the next year. I always thought I would be doing that, but I've never had to do that. So I don't know how their setup's working. Well, you'll have to look at one of the snooker table. Pick any snooker table in Shooters Pool, and it's a finished table. You know, it's a properly finished table where the balls of the pockets will get ball racks in them. It's all complete. There's not a snooker table in VP. Well, the snooker table in VP3 was a glorified large pool table because the pockets weren't even snooker pockets. Remember. And although we've got snooker pockets in VP4, we don't have a finished table. He couldn't be bothered putting the ball racks, the ball runners below the pocket nets to catch the balls. You know, the little refined points that make the table look nice. Well, is that not you getting into this, into the you know, the sort of major differences in the physics of the game when you're talking about three cushion? You've got a whole different skill set to learn there, have you not? Playing three cushion. Well, that'll never happen either. You can dream about that. Well, Steve always said right from the offset there wouldn't be a VP5. But I think when you go through the progression of time, well, Larry's getting loads of help here. But when you go through the course of time, where are we? 2012 VP4 was launched, August 2012, and we're now 12 years down the line, and we're probably way past what you would call a major update. But a major update, is it worth doing, or is it worth actually going through the whole process of developing a completely new game? That involves an incredible amount of work. For all we know, Steve might have made his mind up 5 years ago he was going to do something, and he's been at it since then. We don't know that because he ain't telling us anything. We don't know anything. He did say something, didn't he, in a stream a little while back, but we've never really had much concrete information at all. In fact, nothing. That he was doing something. You can try and winkle it out of him, but he ain't telling. And I mean, he's put. The curious thing is, he's put 2 games in recent times, which are games that he likes the idea of, but nobody's playing them. Do you see what I mean there? What was that rotation? Filipino rotation. He put that in. Nobody's played it. And what was the other one he put in? I can't remember. Somebody will remember it. So he's put 2 games in fairly recently, or 2 rule variants that he's put in. And they're games that he likes the idea of, but nobody's interested in him now. What's the game that lots of people have been asking for? Killer or something like that. And we've not seen it. We've also been asking about getting a 10-foot or a 9-foot, what do you call it? Chinese 8-ball table. which is bloody tough. Yeah, if you've ever played that Chinese 8-ball table in shooters pool, you're not going to be running loads of balls in that. It's a bloody tough table, and that would be a good table to have. So the stuff that folk are asking for, he's not putting in. I'm pretty certain that if we had that Chinese 8-ball table, there'd be loads of people playing it and probably using it for snooker as well. And also that killer game, which is a multiplayer game, more people would probably play that. But those other two things that he's put in, nobody's given him a sniff. Nobody's interested. Well, Larry, the mistake has been made. Well, this time he ain't going to get away with it. So Progressive Pool back in business, trying to take the match all the way, and of course he's getting all these money balls. Let's see how many go in the break and how many come back up, because we had that incident in Larry's previous match where the 7-ball money ball didn't come back up after the break. But no fear of that happening here because the break was dry. Now, I know that there are people, I mean, we've now got 10 on YouTube, so maybe one or two you weren't here earlier. But just a quick reminder that we have the final of the Virtual World Snooker Championship set up for Sunday. Now, it was set up for 6 o'clock British Summer Time, but I managed to convince Albinario and Matt to start it an hour earlier for my benefit, because it could go on for a number of hours, and the longer it goes on, the later it goes on, and the less time I get to bed, because I'm up at 4 AM on Monday morning. So I can thank the two of them now. I'll thank them on Sunday as well for agreeing to do that. So the match will start at 5 PM. Larry's got himself over the line by 7 racks to 5. Progressive Pool moves across. The stream will be live about 10 to 5 on Sunday, so hopefully you can join us for that. And this tournament moves on. Brain Fallout is now Spectre Dawn's next victim. In fact, looking at that though, Brain Fallout is 4-1 in front and getting the 5-ball, so Brain Fallout has got Spectre in trouble. So we're going to have to dive in there. Well, this table is looking pretty good for him right now if he can hold himself together. Now, let's have a look at what he's got here. Now, so you just go right forward and come back, loads of top and spin it back the way off that top rail. Watch the knuckle. Well, if he'd missed that knuckle, he'd have been about there. He can still cut this in for a 5-1 lead. And, oh, it did everything but drop. Well, is that the glimmer of light that Spectre Dawn needs to get his act together? Well, he's got into that too much. He's come right into the middle of the table, so now he's got a very nasty thin cut of the bank down between the 7 and 8. He's going for the cut. Oh, he's played it well. Well, this will just be a stopper, I would imagine. Brainful Out now's got to hope that Spectre Dawn's break deserts him. It could be ominous. Four ball goes in. Shot in the one, but wrong side of the one ball. Now, this cue ball has a path to come around 3 rails to get to this 2. Now, I don't know that Spectre Dawn will do that. I think he'll leave the cut. He does tend to do that, but he could try and run the cue ball, but the 8 ball could get in the way, and the 3 ball could as well. 1, 2, and he's missed the 3, he's missed the 5, and he's plumb perfect. That was the only risk that you were taking there, that it was going to maybe bump catch the 8 or catch the 3, and he couldn't have landed any better. I'll just nip across, it doesn't seem to be any problem here. Now you can just dig into the cue ball, stun this 6 in and nip back the way. Or just nip up the way, whatever he wants to do. When you're in a good position, you've got choices as to where you want to go. Left-hand English in the cue ball there to spin it to a line where he was just staring down the 9 ball into the side. So Spectre Dawn is off and running. That break and run. And what is to follow? Well, he's off and running again. Ball has gone in. Oh, is it a nice little nudge in the 1? 4 ball has gone. The only problem is the 2 ball ain't going anywhere in those corner pockets, so he's got a bit of work to do here. I think he's slightly the wrong side of the 1 as well. Let's have a look. No, he isn't. He's trying to get below the 2. Again, it's not ideal. So he's got a straight choice. He's got to miss that knuckle on the right side pocket, and he stunned it to get the cue ball short of the side pocket. Now, he did everything right in that shot. The only problem was the difficulty of the 2 ball. And Brainful Out under a bit of pressure now. He had to miss that 8. He's left it a wee bit short in the 3. And of course, the other issue is that the cue ball doesn't want to stay there for the 5. And whatever happens here, he's got to keep control of that 5 ball. Unless he's trying to do some sort of acrobatic shot here, I don't know what he's trying to do. Well, this will thin cut in. Now this Spectre Dawn going to try and come back across, miss the 7, because this is a tight space. No, he's just trying to, well, in fact, he's just keeping it safe. Now, I think it's tight next to that 8 ball up there to get that rail and try and kick the 3 in. But if he kicks the 3 in, he's on the 5. He's not even looking at it. Maybe that knuckle's just in the way. Well, now Spectre Dawn's in control here because he's only got half of that 3-ball he can play, and not a lot of places to hide the cue ball up that end of the table. Well, the 3-ball got to the rail, so the target is a 7-ball. Well, now there's a chance for Brainfall Out to send that 3-ball 2 rails and try and set it onto that top rail as we look, and bring the cue ball back behind the 9 and 7. But he's got to pick the right line to do it, but again, we're just going to tip-tap. So somebody's got to be brave to try and get that distance and use these balls as cover. And the longer that Brainfall Out messes about here and refuses that opportunity he had, he wasn't prepared to take the risk, the more likely he's going to end up in more trouble. Because sooner or later, Spectre Dawn is going to have him like this, where it becomes more and more difficult to try and keep that 3-ball safe and the cue ball. And Eloquenti's gone through the final rack decider against Jez Dev. And there's a mistake. So the inevitable has happened, and I think he should have took that risk with that previous shot he had, and that would have been at least a chance to get distance between the balls. And he got backed into a corner, and he didn't deal with the problem. It was difficult to deal with it. Now, this is not exactly a gimme, this 6-ball. Far from it. That's gone to the rail too soon. Oh, but it's gone in. Pace that let it go in. What's that picture that Spectre Dawn's got as his profile picture? Is it some kind of space guy? That looks like what's that in the background? A chimney or something I can see in the background, but I can't really make out what the character is. But anyway, he's back on level terms. But I think he's dry. And that 6-ball just come to his rescue there. Well, Brainfall Out, if you play the push out, you've got to pick a good spot, because you're asking for trouble with that 6 and 2-ball sitting there. I think he's got to kick this. I think he's got to do the right thing and kick it and try and kill it. No, he hasn't hit it. You've got to punch that up the table and keep the cue ball behind the 6. And like a nuclear power station, is that what it is, Larry? Welcome to Matt. Are you all warmed up for Sunday? I hope you are. We're wanting to see a match. Just don't do a Keith, whatever you do. Don't throw the toys out the pram. Promise you won't do that. Well, I'll be rooting for you, Matt. It'd be nice to see a new winner. But I'll be totally impartial when the live stream's on. If I see shit, I'll call it shit. Never doubt me in that score. I'm reliable as far as that goes. Well, meanwhile, Spectre Dawn looks to have things under control here now. Brainful Out had a 4-1 lead, and that is gone. And he's had his chance. And that little safety exchange is where he didn't make the brave choice, in my opinion. The brave choice was, as I said, trying to send that 5-ball 2 rails up onto the top rail and keep the cue ball down here. And eventually, he was involved in that tippy tap thing, and then he eventually leaves the 5-ball on into the side. So, if you're going to get into that sort of game, you've got to come up with decent shots. And well, his lead is gone, and he's now trailing. Well, when you've got, two solid players at snooker together, it's all about controlling the table. It really is. And making the right decision at the right time, knowing when to bail out. Don't overextend yourself. Well, Brainful Out, of course, is still a danger getting that 5-ball. But every time he misses a shot and gives Spectre Dawn a sniff, you fear for his prospects, although he's sort of almost got away with this. Well, it's certainly far too far to jump. He's just trying to chip the edge of this one. Yeah, he got it too thick. So, it's another opportunity for Brainful Out. Well, that's it. I mean, how often have I said that? There's ways to win frames of snooker. And obviously, if you're at the table and you're potting all the balls, that's the easy way to win it. The other way is making sure your opponent can't do that by making it awkward for them, and then you just feed off their mistakes. Talking of mistakes, that's a fatal one from Brainful Out. Ball in hand for Spectre Dawn. I don't believe he'll play a 2-9 combo. I think, he might end up playing a 6-9 combo because he's got the 5-ball down this end, and then he would have to run up the table or around a couple of rails. Well, that's a deliberate shot, and that is good thinking because he's got the 6-ball out in the open. Although he's left himself dead straight in the 3, but he's got loads of room just to play this 4 at long distance. But that bump in the 6 just gets it into the open play rather than having to rely on a combo. And he might not necessarily have been that good on a combo if it came to it, so that was a wise move. That's thinking ahead. Yeah, let's hope we don't have a call a draw needed Sunday night, because we're not sure whether that's 100% reliable. And Steve never gave me any any explanation as to why after we had the server issue in that match with Keith and Albie, after we had that server issue and we all got back in, he never had any explanation as to why the call a draw wasn't there as an option when they got to that stalemate stage. All he could tell me was there was a problem with the server. That's all he could tell me. Then when I showed him that video, he said, yes, that is a bug. What should have happened is that when we lagged off the first time, called it a draw, and then it restarted, there shouldn't have been a second lag. So that's something he will be probably fixing. And meanwhile, from a 4-1 lead, Brainful Out saw all that drain away, and now Spectre Dawn on the brink. This is a hot seat match that's coming up, isn't it? I think Larry's sitting there in the hot seat, isn't he? Yeah. Well, I think Keith just didn't have the patience. He should have chose the option that was available to him, reset the match, start off the first frame, give the first frame to Albie, and then carry on from there, and he could still have been in the tournament. That's the way to look at it. He didn't have to just smash the Reds open. He could have just accepted that, been a bit more patient, and he could have been in the final. You never know. Well, the push-out was played, and the push-out has been passed. Now, that one ball, I'm 100% certain it goes, and I think Spectre Dawn has called Brainful Out's bluff here. And that's no good, because the one ball, the cue ball, is nowhere near the 7, and Spectre Dawn can easily jump that and cut the 1 in, so a poor executioner shot by Brainful Out there. But the 2 ball is really awkward. But even with the awkward 2 ball, you can put Brainful Out in a heap of trouble with the safety. So, well, the 1 ball's rattled. I don't think that makes any difference. It's just a question of whether Brainful Out's going to come up with something decent as a safety once he pots this 1. Now, if I was him, I wouldn't be trying to do something crazy to get on the 2. I would be playing a safety in a lock-up here and making sure I can at least see the 2 to be able to try and do that. But he's trying to get good to play the combo. So now he's called his own bluff here. He has to deliver. So this has got to be gentle to keep the 2 ball there. And now, loads of room to get on the 3. I don't know why he's looking around and looking around. You just need to pot the 2 and come across here and make sure you don't hook yourself on the 6 ball, or the 9, or the 7. So drop the 3 in, come out in a fairly straightish 5 ball. Well, he's got out. Wow, we've suddenly got 19 on YouTube. That'll drop rapidly. And it's dropped by 4 already. It's went down to 15. There's all these people stumbling in on the stream, not interested, and then stumbling out straight away. Well, you notice that I've had no spam bots in YouTube. in any recent time at all. I seem to have got rid of them all. Well, Brain Pillow going to have to hold himself together here to try and take this match all the way. He only needs the 3, 4 and 5, but the 3 ball's a big ask. He doesn't want to get into this too much, or he could do something daft in the side pocket. Now that just needs to slow up. Well, he's not going to scratch, I don't think. No, he's just got to roll this in dead weight and keep the cue ball that side of the table. And that'll do. And we are going all the way, unless he makes a complete hash of the 5 ball. I can't see that happening. Well, a big opportunity for Brain Pillow if he can get a decent break. Well, at least he's not left anything simple. Spectre Dawn's got room to jump over the 8. The 4 ball. The 4 ball does go. So he doesn't need to bump that 4. It does go. And Progressive Pool has gone home. Eloquenti's taken him out in a final rack in the 1 loss side. I haven't used the replay tonight, so I won't have any videos. I missed one of Larry's scratches earlier on. And of course, Spectre Dawn executes a jump shot without any problem whatsoever. We know the 4 ball goes, so the only concern with the 4 ball is the 7 ball. And that's where he just has to drop right down the left-hand side, right down onto the rail, take that 7 ball out of the equation, and he's good to go, and that's perfect. Now it needs to bump. But he only needs to just come back out of there, and he's got the 5 up the rail, unless he wants to try and get out into the table, but that's asking a wee bit. He might be able to get through the gap though with that 7 and 9. Let's see what he does. No, he's just nipping back. Sensible shot. This is just a wee bit fiddly. Just a wee bit fiddly off that point, this cue ball. Now, can he just squeeze right through and just let it roll out, or is he going to roll out for the 6 into the side and let it run right through? Oh, he's hit the point. Well, it's not in the bag yet, this rack, or the match. But he's going to come over right side. He's nailed it, and it is over now. So Larry knows who he's playing for the hot seat. It's going to be Spectre Dawn. So final rack decider. Spectre Dawn through yet again to another hot seat match. Quick update on that 1 loss side. Stefan's now playing Brainful out, and Eloquenti's waiting on the winner of that match. Don't forget that final on Sunday at 1700 hours. Semi-Pro still holds a high run at 111. I can't believe Matt and Albie are going to play that amount of frames on Sunday, and somebody's not going to top that. I think the high run has got to go in the final. So it is. So hopefully you can join us for that match on Sunday afternoon. That'll be sort of breakfast time or lunchtime, almost on the East Coast. Right, so we'll get in. I'll have a quick drink. And Larry's in the room. We're just waiting for Inspector Don coming in. Well, welcome to Rosine. Welcome to Coldest Pillow. Late again. I mean, you're only an hour and 50 minutes late. I'll let you off. But this will be the hot seat match for tonight's final. See who gets through it. Oh, the yawning really started. I'm beginning to hit that sleep wall again, folks. What, was you playing him or was you just in watching? Well, here we are. We've got Spectre on the right-hand side. We've got Larry on the left, lag for the break. And Larry's getting a 7-ball. And, well, that's a pretty good lag by Spectre Dawn, and not a bad effort from Larry. But Spectre Dawn wins it. So off we go. Oh yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that could be the tie of the round. I mean, we've got Larry up against Spectre Dawn, and this is a sort of warm up for that match. That'll be a good match. And I still can't remember who the hell Slim plays. Somebody tell me who Slim plays. Is it Matt that Slim plays first round? Because we've got 3 cracking first round ties, and I cannot remember who Slim plays. Somebody find out. Oh, is it Albie? Ah, right. Well, try and tell me that those aren't 3 great matches to watch. Well, this cue ball looks as if it's just going to bump the 8 here. So I don't think Larry has to really do a great deal. Oh no, he's on the 3. I thought that was a 5. The eyes have gone. It's that time of night. I've got every excuse in the book. Now, does that 3 squeeze past the 8? Because Larry can be nailed here in a second. Let's have a quick look. Well, it's the wrong angle. He's not straight enough on it. Well, that is way too tight to think that's going to squeeze into the side past that 8 ball. He's ducking for cover here, trying to get up table, I think, is he? Well, that's not turned out as well as he thought it would, and he hasn't got a rail. He's forgot about a rail. So here's a big opportunity for Larry straight away. Yeah, I think most people would like the tournament to get underway. We've still got another 12 days to wait before it starts. Because you're going to have the the snooker final on Sunday, and then you've got all that. You've got 10 days to wait until the 8-ball starts. So Larry's in the game. The mistake from Spectre Dawn. And Larry's got no shot in the one, although, again, he's got a perfectly reasonable safety shot here to bring this cue ball down between the 6 and 9 and bank that one ball across the table and duck per cover. Well, he's not gone between the 6 and 9, and he's not got enough cover. In fact, Spectre Dawn's going to be lining up the jump over the edge of this 7 to probably try and have a go at that combo. That's exactly what he's lining up to do. It starts on the 11th. It starts on the 11th of September. So you've got plenty of time, because there's like 10 days for first round winner side matches, aren't there? Well, everything's got in there. The 1, the 2, both went in. And no shot in the 4, though. Oh, that's just going to be a gift of a start for Larry again. Well, Larry's got to make hay while the sun shines here, because things could turn very rapidly. He's got to get himself as much distance in front as he can when he's got these opportunities, and straight away he's got a problem. Now, he can nip back into the gap here. He's got the angle just to nip back into the gap, and he's stunned it just enough. He just brushed the 8-ball. That took a wee bit off the cue ball, but he'll settle for that. Can't you play in holiday? Yeah, he's going to take the PC with him. He's going to ship that in the back of the car or his laptop. No, but he's still got plenty of time to get back and still play his match. He's not under any threat there. And this 8-ball tournament, it'll go right through September into October, and I've got a week off in October. I don't know when, but I've got a week off in October, so I can cover a lot of matches then. And Spectre Dawn is probably, once he pots this 4 and 5, he's probably just going to leave it for the 6-9 combo. Now, he could do something silly here, but he's not doing it. He's checking the cue ball up. He could have run that cue ball around and tried to bump the 6 and get lucky in the 5. But again, you've got to take what's there and do the sensible stuff. So all he needs to do now is get a good line on the 6-9. And that's perfect. I don't think he could have played that any better with ball in hand. He's never going to miss this. I'm still in the middle of the sleep wall. I might get through it. I've been in my bed the last 2 or 3 nights at 9 o'clock. And of course, at a certain age, if you go to bed at 9 o'clock, you can guarantee by about midnight, the body clock wakens you up. You have to go to the bathroom. And there's no better feeling than going to bed at 9 o'clock at night, waking up at midnight, going to the toilet, and then knowing that you've still got another 4 hours sleep you can get. That's a great feeling. It's the waking up at 4:45 and going to the toilet and knowing that you've only got 15 bloody minutes to get out of your bed. That's what's annoying. And what Larry's now hoping and praying for here is that Spectre Dawn doesn't get on his roll. Because Larry might be stuck there in 2 for a little while. Oh, it's going to graze it. He's okay. There was just a threat there. He was going to nail himself, but it all came good. Well, it can't belong now to this, what the hell's it called? This Efron Race Cup. The Race Cup that's about to happen. I can't read, not that far off. This sort of version of the Moscone Cup that they've got. I would like to have a look at that. I'm going to have to check that out and find out when the dates are for it, because I would like to see some of it. Well, Brain Fallout survives. He sent Stefan home 4 racks to 1. And Spectre Dawn, ball in the break. 2 ball over the side pocket. Now, what's he going to do here? Is he going to take a risk? And he's got to take a risk and bump this 8 ball out, because he's bound to be on the 3. Or is he? No, he ain't. So, well, let's see whether that's going to work out. I mean, as long as he pots the 5 and gets the angle in the 7, he can certainly cut across into the gap between the 8 and 9 and play the 8 down into this bottom right hand corner. So I mean, he should be good as far as that goes. But I thought he might have just tried a little bump and get it out of there like he did earlier on with that 6 ball and his other match. But that'll do. That's roughly where he wanted to be. And now Larry just has to sit there, fingers crossed. They're sticking in Saudis who look like they haven't picked up a cue. What are you talking about? The team that the Philippines are playing? Because I haven't even seen anything about a list of players that are playing in the damn thing. I've read nothing other than I know that the tournament's about to happen. I just can't remember when. I'm going to have to go into the... What, in the snooker? Oh, the Saudi Masters. I didn't even know that was on. Oh, aye, that'll have a lot of Arab players that you know that are probably good amateurs. That's probably what they are. You know, they're never going to cause any problems for seasoned professionals. But money talks. Don't forget, in that part of the world, you can buy themselves into one of the tournaments, no problem. they'll all be invited anyway. Watch that cue ball. Well, I think he's fine. I think he's just okay. Now that little bit of spin just to send the cue ball forward there. He's actually went a bit too far forward. Now he's sort of in between. Yeah, he just got into it a wee bit too much. He would have liked to have just been rolling this into the side pocket, this 4-ball. And now he's back in business. You look at the amount of, I mean, when the normal season finishes in the snooker, you know, when the World Championship is over, a lot of the big pros, you know, at that time, when the World Championship finishes in the beginning of May, they then go on holiday. You know, they'll go 2-3 weeks, whatever it is, with the family. But now you've got these tournaments in China. You've got this Saudi thing that you said's going on. You've got tournaments virtually all year round now in the snooker, and more tournaments coming on all the time. So it's a veritable feast for the pros to earn money. If they can hit any sort of level of consistency, there's money there to be won, and ranking points, of course, as well. Well, Larry has squared the match again, and the 6-ball has gone in the break. Well, he's got a very tight 1-ball down the rail. Now, the thing is, though, he's got an opportunity for a safety as well, but it hasn't held the line. I mean, there's a perfect example of the 9-ball instinct there. You know, the 1-ball has a pocket to go into. It's a very dodgy cut. And Larry can't resist it, but he had an opportunity for a decent little safety there with those balls for cover up there, the 3, 7 and 8. And it's just instinctive. You know, if you're in and you're at the table and you've got a shot, you keep going to try and stay there, keep the run going, and then inevitably you run out of shots. And all he's done is given Spectre Dawn a free go to get the lead again. And Larry might have played his last shot. That's the other problem. Well, don't forget as well, I'm pretty certain that some of these players, well, let's just put it this way. Ronnie O'Sullivan's got a deal going at the moment with the Saudis anyway, so that's why he'll be there. I'd be surprised if he's not there. And there may well be a number of them getting a backhander to show up. You know, they're making money before they actually play in the event. You don't know what's going on in the background, but I'm pretty certain there's a few bundles of cash getting handed to people just to show their face and take part in the event. Otherwise, people like that at this time of year would be out of the country and away over sunning themselves somewhere, as I said, with the family. Spectre Dawn breaks in rack number 8. And Larry's money ball has gone down, and it has come up this time. 7 ball gets spotted. Possible billiard onto the 8 here. Oh, that's a poor shot by Spectre Dawn again. Well, that's the one sort of... The one thing that he does not execute all that great is quite a few safeties. And again, Larry's going to be going for this. And he's now... Again, he's got a... To me, the billiard looks a lot easier than the cut. You know, you just brush off the 2, keep the 2 there or thereabouts, and bump the 8 in. Well, if you hit that 2 ball thick enough, he looks as if he's doing the bank. As a matter of fact, he's contemplating either or, but if you hit the 2 ball thick enough, you've got to bump the 8 in. But now he's cutting it. Now, it all depends on how this 2 ball hits that 8, and it's hit it perfect. He couldn't have played it any better than that. You know, it could easily have sort of cut off the 8 and come along to the short rail and went tight, but he's landed pretty good, and that's a good shot also. So now he wants to just... Now, this is dangerous. And the reason it's dangerous is because you've got the angle to pop over to the side rail. If you get this too much, you hook yourself behind the 9. Well, I thought he was going to spin that inside there. That was the danger, but he could also hook himself behind the 6, but he's found a gap. That'll do it. What's first to 7? What, the tournament? The Masters thing? So in goes the 7, and we're back all square. I take it you've gone to bed, Mark. He never said good night, or at least I never saw it, because there's only 2 in Twitch, and I'm one of them, and the other one's maybe still Cobra. Mark has slipped out the back door, as I think has Chimpy. Chimpy's gone as well. He was in. Oh, Cobra's still here. So it's just me and you in Twitch. I think we wondered the other day whether I count on Twitch. Well, I'm viewing it on my phone. We're not still quite sure whether I count or not. That would then mean that there's somebody else still in Twitch. But that we don't know unless they type something. I mean, that'll do. I'm just getting a wee bit too warm, so I've taken my top off. The one thing you don't want to be is finishing this tournament being too warm and then going to your bed. I'd much rather cool off. That's why I've taken my top off. You're just getting a bit warm. Well, Larry's on the brink. Gets a ball. Got a very thin one. Let's have a look at the angle in that. Well, it will go, but the cue ball just running all over the shop here. He hasn't a clue where the cue ball's ending up. He'll bump into the 4. He might find a gap between the 9 and the 4. Nobody knows. Well, he's found a gap. He's overcut the 1, believe it or not. Well, Spectre Dawn could just bump this 1 onto the rail, past the 9. He's played the combo instead, though. And he's going to pay the price for that, I would feel. Now, I say pay the price. Now, Larry can come down for the 3. That shouldn't be a problem. Up for the 4 and the 4-9, and it's game over. Now Spectre Dawn realises what a big mistake it's turned out to be, because it's cost him the match. That 3 ball looks tight. So Larry is going to be through to tonight's final, and Spectre Dawn is going to have to deal with brain fallout. And brain fallout will be dangerous with that handicap. So there we are. Larry is our first finalist tonight. And we'll just refresh that. There we go. Larry in the final. And in fact, I'm talking about brain fallout. I thought brain fallout was through. He's not. He's 3-2 down against Eloquente. My bad there as well. I'm getting tired. And now it's going all the way. Just made it in time. Oh, good evening to Bedhead. Are you going to be there on Sunday to... Oh no, I'll get the hiccups. Are you going to be there on Sunday to... I've got the hiccups again. To back your Swedish buddy? It starts at... well, it'll be 6 p.m. Swedish time. And just so that you know, in fact, I don't know whether you do know, but we are back on Twitch, Bedhead, if you want to nip over to Twitch. He doesn't need backup. Oh, that's fighting talk. Right, anyway, this is the final rack decider to see who's going to play Spectre Dawn to get into tonight's final. To meet up with Larry. Oh, that little bump in that 7-9 there has actually landed not too bad for the 7-9 combo. Now the question is Eloquente going to show enough sense just to take what's there? Oh, that's terrible. Well, everything about that was terrible. He's bottled out. He's feeling the pinch because he's played a terrible shot in the 4 and he didn't even get the cue ball out for the 5. So it's now up to Brainful Out, and Brainful Out should be thinking the same thing here. Just pot the 4, get on the 5 and get decent on that 6, where all you have to do is just try and get in decent line in the 7. Well, if ever there was evidence of somebody feeling the pinch, that was that shot there by Eloquente, because he completely bottled on it. Well, this is just pot the 6 ball and just let the cue ball do its thing through off the short rail in the bottom, and it'll nip over to the left. All you're doing is potting the 6, but you've got to just pot it at the right pace. You're not digging into stun or anything. You should just be potting this and just letting it run out. Like that. Just exactly like that. He's just gone a wee bit further than he would have liked, but there's a 75% odds that this is going in, as long as he doesn't cut that 7 too soon. And in it goes. Well, Eloquente should have been winning this, but he didn't have the nerve, I'm afraid. And Brainful Out survives. So we now have our semi-final match. We will just refresh that because I can't be bothered waiting. It's Brainful Out against Spectre Dawn, and we'll get ourselves straight in the room. And well, Spectre Dawn is in a hurry tonight. He wants to get at Larry. We've got Brainful Out in the right, Spectre Dawn in the left, and Brainful Out is getting a 5 ball again. Is this not a revenge match now that I think of it? Let's have a look. Where the hell are we? Hang on a minute. Yes, it is, because Brainful Out done. No, he didn't. Tell a lie, I take it back. Spectre Dawn winning that final rack. So, no, it is a revenge match. It's a chance for Spectre Dawn to. Brainful Out to deal some damage to Spectre Dawn, his conqueror in that first match. I tried to improve my rating the other night, but played like crap and lost 10 points. What, in 9 ball? Or was that in a tournament? You couldn't have played all that crap if you only lost 10 points. There's that pause again. It's happening in jump shots, so you noticed that? It's happening every time there's a jump shot for some weird reason. Well, the thin cut on the 1. Now, what's he trying to do here? I don't know what he's trying to do here. Is he trying to be really cute? Or is he trying to go... He is trying to be cute. Yeah. Well, he's asking for trouble here. Question is Brainful Out going to come up with something half decent that's going to cause Spectre Dawn problems? In fact, no, he hasn't. Well, the only thing that's good about it is the fact that Spectre Dawn can't see all of the 2. but he can see a big enough edge to get away from there. And likewise, Brainflout has a similar option here. This is a much better chance here for Brainflout, as long as he gets this thin enough. But again, he's not found the cover. And this time, he should be in bigger trouble. And I think Spectre Dawn has got cover on the 9. Yeah, that did cut that, Larry. It certainly did cut, but you're blasting it and sort of open. And there's that pause again. So we're getting a weird pause on jump shots tonight for some reason. I don't know why. Every time we've had a jump shot, we've had a big sort of noticeable pause in the game. Now, you think the way those balls are sitting there, Brainflout had 2 or 3 opportunities to put Spectre Dawn in a lot of trouble. He never really achieved it. And in the end, he lost the battle. One ball goes in. 3 ball gets out the way. 2 ball into the side. 4 ball wide open on the left side. 5 ball over the top corner. And 6 ball goes into both corners as well as the side. So you can only think the inevitable is going to happen here. Now, has he got the angle just to roll through and finish in a better line than this 7? Yes, he has. I'll probably just brush past the 9, play it in the other corner. Has he just drawn it back? He's playing a little draw. Well, we all know that you're not going to get an awful lot of opportunities against Spectre Dawn, but when it's only a race to 4, it puts even more emphasis on taking whatever chances you get. I think the 1 ball went this time, and I think he can he get enough of that too to cut it? Oh, that looks touch and go. Can he get in there? If he can't, he can certainly put Brainflout in trouble, no doubt about that. I think he's maybe thinking along those lines. Yeah, he couldn't get to it. He couldn't get enough of it. Well, this is tricky. Well, what do you do here? I mean, all you can do is roll to it and just double kiss it, just roll onto it. You could go off the side rail and onto the top rail and nudge it. But the chances are that the fact that you're only rolling up to it like that, it may well leave Spectre Dawn an easy escape out of there. Well, that's not it. That's a double hit with a sledgehammer there, Brainflout. Yeah, that was terrible. Far too heavy. But like I said, if he'd left it close on that, it would have been easy enough for Spectadon just to duck up table and leave that ball sitting there. Well, it's beginning to look like at the moment that Brainflout has run his course in this tournament tonight. Aye, that's bad news, Larry. Now, he's just going to check this bit of right-hand English. And he'll just nursemaid this in and leave the cut in the 9, I would think. It's got to get there, though. It's got to get there. Oh, it went in its dying breath. I think he had a panic there. I think a little urine leaked out there. I'm willing to bet that. So 3-0 to Spectadon. He's come up dry. No, tell a lie. I got it wrong. The 8 ball's gone. I never even noticed that going. I'm surprised he's playing the push out. Let's have a look. Well, considering where the 2 ball is and considering what he's just done, it might not have been a bad idea now that you look at the table. Well, does Brainflout play that or does he give it back to him? That's the question. I think I'd be handing this back to him. Because it's difficult to get covered with the cue ball here, especially where the 2 ball is going to be hitting the 9. I think I'd hand that back to him. Because if he does something daft here, this 2 ball could end up over the pocket, bumping the 9. Well, he's got it thin enough. In actual fact, that's a pretty good effort. Well, you do well to sneak anything out of that lot. Well, for any latecomers like Renegade King, we're in the semi-final match to see who plays Larry in tonight's Friday night 9-ball final. And right now it looks like it's going to be Spectadon, unless Brainflout can get his act together. Well, the only way this will go wrong is coming down the right side and scratching in the corner. He's well away from that. Well, he's going to get rid of the bagel, as they say. Well, something went in, and it was a 7-ball. Well, this is a bit fiddly as well, this shot. I mean, you can bump the 1 towards the 2 and try and duck for cover, but you're probably going to leave something on here doing that. Now, is he trying to squeeze behind him? He hasn't quite got there. A good idea, but there's, again, probably just enough room to jump over the edge of that too. We'll soon find out. Maybe Spectadon doesn't fancy it, but yes, he does. And yes, of course, he gets it. And yes, of course, he's got enough of the 2 ball to pot it. So that could be hasta la vista time. Again, loads of checking the cue ball to stop it running up towards the 3. Oh dear, I'm still yawning big time. 20 minutes to 10. It's surprising with the amount of players. I mean, we've only got 9 players in the tournament tonight. We're going to be over 3 hours for this damn thing. But the final is about to start, folks. VP4TV is beginning to is beginning to be like one of these sports channels, because we've got another commercial break coming up in a second. Another promotional screen coming up before the final. Just to annoy those that have already seen it 3 times. But it pays to advertise. Well, this is not by no means a gimme 9 ball, this. This is in Albinario territory, but on that 6 ball. Remember that. Never a doubt. So, Brain Fallout has come out with a profit, but his work is done this week. But of course, the inevitable has happened. Spectre Dawn is into the final, and talking of finals, a final reminder that we have the Albinario match against MC Clarkey in the final of this year's 2024 disastrous Virtual World Snooker Championship. That match will start at 1700 hours British Summer Time on Sunday afternoon. That is noon Eastern Standard Time. That would be 9 AM Pacific. It's a race to 9, and the live stream should be up and running about 10 minutes before the final's due to start. So good luck to both players, and good luck to Larry and Spectre Dawn in tonight's final. We'll get in. Larry will already be in, and we're just waiting on Spectre Dawn arriving in this race to 9 final.
Where's the cue ball going? Oh dear, outside, never mind.
Well, Spectre Dawn's still on a break, keeping us all waiting, but he's finally joined the room, and hopefully this screen's going to recover, which it takes its time to do so, but it has done. Larry on the right, Spectre Dawn on the left, and Larry is still getting the 7 ball in this match. Spectre Dawn, however, has won the lag. So off we go. And what time is it? It is, let's just settle for 9:45. It's 9:44 and 20 odd seconds and counting. So it's effectively 45 minutes past my bedtime, as it is every bloody Friday night. So ball in the break, 6 balls gone. Back across the table into the gap, perfect. Well, a wee bit straight in this too. He might just nip back for the 3 into the side. I mean, he could give it a bang to get out of there. Yeah, he just nip back. And now all he needs to do is just drop the 3 in. He's just killing it. So, we know where this is headed. 1-0 already for Spectre Dawn. Ball in the break. End result, as usual. Well, he won it last week again, didn't he? Aye, he won it last week. And of course, the less people that are in the damn tournament, the more likelihood that this is what's going to happen each week as well. So it sort of backfires on itself. The less people that actually want to play in the tournament, the more people that play in the tournament, the more likely that Spectre Dawn's going to bump into somebody that's going to cause him a problem with a handicap. If there was more of those people in it, but they ain't showing up. But as I say, also, it doesn't matter what handicap he's giving away. If that person ain't getting to the table and ain't, more importantly, taking opportunities when they get them, which might not be many. And again, I heard something go in. It might be the 1 ball again that's gone. And the 2 ball's not quite as cut and dried. Although, again, he's got an easy opportunity to bury Larry here, so he has. But he's lining up the cut. No, he thought better of it, because that's what I was talking about. Easy safety. No reason to be taking risk like that when you've got such an easy opportunity to stick Larry in trouble. Well, if the 2 ball had ran a bit further, he would have got away with that there. Well, Larry likes doing things the hard way. He might have to tonight if this continues with this rack. Now again, loads of inside English in that cue ball to straighten it up and bring it back into the table. Well, now he has a decision to make here. The 8 ball's in the way in the left-hand side. He's probably going to check this up again. No, he is. He's going past the 8. I thought he was going to try and... Maybe it was a too much angle, but again, he's played it pretty good. Managed to miss the 8 ball, although he's ended up straight in the 5, but it's no problem. He can jack up, just nip it back a tad. In fact, he's making sure he's well into the open, not taking any risks. So now, if he gets a good bit of spin in this, he can spin it tight into the rail and out for the 7, and that's what he's doing. So you get it tighter into the rail before that spin takes place, and it goes at a narrower angle. Now he's still going to bump this 9 though, but I don't think it should do him any harm, because it actually might just hold him nice for the 8. If he just nips an edge of this 9 ball. Yeah. That's perfectly okay. And I think the 9 ball isn't quite locked to the rail. No, it's comfortably away from it. So, not the start Larry would like, but he's not really had a sniff so far. Now, did anything go that time? No, it didn't. And, well, a bit of a bonus for Larry because he's actually got a shot. Now, I say he's got a shot. He can pot the one, and now he's got to nip around the back of that 4 and try and get a line that's going to come down here and maybe get a little nudge like that. Well, the 2 does go, but he's going to have to dig out a shot here. And he's going to have to stun across the rail and back out. And that's very well done. And he's got more trouble ahead. He can't do anything more elaborate than probably leave this 4-6 combo, because the 4 doesn't go past the 8 up into the other corner pocket. And he's gone a bit too far. He's getting to it too much. This isn't ideally wanted to be sort of there rather than there. Big shot though. Well, just ended up overcutting the 6, and that was his chance, come and gone. As quick as that. Well, Larry won't be panicking yet. How many racks behind do you have to get before you do start panicking? That's one question in a race to 9. Well, after that break, and either this thin cut or bank, I'd maybe start to twitch a little. The 1, the 2 and the 4 have gone. And this 5 ball's going to come right back into play. He's not going to be hampered by the 9. And yeah, I think the panic station button is about to be pressed, because it's going to be 4-0. Of course, Spectre Dawn is signed up to the 8-ball World Championships that starts on September the 11th, and you know, for all the tournaments he's won in Friday Night 9-ball, he's yet to... Well, what's he done here? This is the only place where you can't have a shot. And he stuck it right on the point. That's the only place you can stick that ball. And he's found it. And it's things like that that can turn matches even at this early stage. Odds-on certainty for 4-0. Trying to roll dead to it. Has to hit it full in the face, and he has done. And now Larry's got a safety battle he has to win. Yeah, so the one thing I would just mention in that 8-ball tournament, that's the one thing about Spectre Dawn that he's going to be tested on, is that there's a lot less balls on the table for a start in 9-ball. With the 8-ball, it's a full rack of balls, and that's where he gets fully tested, especially, of course, when you've got one set of balls you have to go for. And he certainly won't necessarily be favourite for it, because he's into a different setup altogether. It's still about potting balls and manoeuvring the cue ball, but there's a lot less room to move. That's the problem. And it's about getting into tight spaces sometimes as well. I mean, he does do well in Friday Night 9-ball, but it's a big ask for him to go deep into the 8-ball tourney and sustain a level of play, especially with the players he'll bump into. He's been close, but he's way overdue winning a title. Oh, he's good, but is he good enough? That's the question. That's what remains to be seen. Now, did Larry come up dry there? I missed the break there. I was too busy looking at the chat. He must have. What am I talking about? I'm definitely falling asleep. It was Spectre Dawn's bloody break. I'm going downhill rapidly. Oh, I think we would all agree he's got a good chance. But it's just the fact that he's had good chances in the past. I think he did. Did he not do pretty good in the 10? He got to the final in the 10-ball, didn't he? I mean, that's just the same idea. Where, 9-ball with an extra ball. Totally different break, though. But 8-ball's a completely different game altogether. Totally different strategies involved in that. About bettering your position in the table, dealing with clusters, all of that stuff. I don't think anybody would grudge him winning it. The thing, that's. I think we all know that he would much. His stats would look a lot better having a name on that champions list. Well, Larry likes it. He likes it good and tough. He's 5-0 down, so now's the time to get in and get in gear, if he can get a chance, that is. And the break is dry, and of course, what Larry doesn't get is a particularly easy starter. But this 1-ball goes. He's nothing to do to get on the 2, so full focus on the 1. And then don't hook yourself behind the 7, trying to get on that 3-ball. That's the rules here. Well, first part is negotiated, so this is where it can immediately go wrong. That 7 balls interfered with play. Now, he's much better going higher than the 7. And commentator's eye. Don't say I didn't warn you. And now it just goes into this tough territory when you're having to dig out shots every time. He needs another good one in this 4. Line pocket cut. And there we go. The inevitable. You run out of shots. Well, my argument to that, Cobra, is if he comes up against the right player, they have exactly the same choices, if you know what I mean. And that's where he's going to get fully tested. Watch this cue ball. You know, yes, you've got more options, but then again, so does the other guy. And if the other guy's good enough and clever enough, then Spectre Dawn might have his hands full once or twice. But like I say, if you keep playing in these type of tournaments, like ones that you don't regularly play, then you're always giving yourself that opportunity of winning a title. So the more you get in them, the more likelihood you have, your odds increase. Well, he was always going to run into them, and he's came out good. And it's 6-0. Well, that's now gone past the 3-hour mark tonight, which with only 9 players in is still a surprise to me. Mind you, we had 1 or 2 of the 1 loss sides went all the way, didn't they? Well, Larry had his chance there, but like I said, if you just don't quite get comfortable and you leave the shots getting tougher and tougher, it just increases your odds you're going to fail eventually. And that's what happened there. Well, Spectre Dawn, well, I was just about to say, it looked as if he was going to come up dry for the second time, but the 4 ball goes in, and it's 7-0. Table's perfect. Well, I'm running these out. I think he's just got a wee bit more angle on the 2 than he'd have liked, but he's just fine. He's found a gap between the 3 and 9, and all is good. And of course, that's the other thing as well, Cobra, I forgot to mention. And of course, this is the same for every player, but Spectre Dawn is one of these players who uses a jump cue to a big advantage. He's very good with it. He gets out a lot of problems with it. But he ain't going to have that luxury in 8 ball, and that's another weapon out of his armoury. So it then comes around to the kicking game. When he needs to do it, which he will need to at some point. And also the choice of safeties, particularly push-outs as well. and we've seen that he's not been the best at shot choices when that options come around. That's been a letdown for him in quite a few occasions. But as it is tonight, he is he's almost in the crown of the bend in terms of athletics or in a horse race. He's coming around to the final 2 furlongs here, 7-0 in front. And again, another ball in the break. And 1 ball. In fact, the 2 balls gone. 1 ball, 3 ball. Well, it does squeeze past the 4, but it doesn't comfortably at that angle. I mean, you can cheat that 3 ball, no problem. But at this angle, the 4 ball comes into play and you can overcut this when you're trying to cheat the pocket. That's the problem with this angle. That's why he's given it a good look. You can see that I mean, there's no way that's not going in. If you were just sitting there, you can easily cheat the pocket. Like, he's played it perfect. Little thin cut in the 4, but he's not going to fail in this. And he's no problem getting in the 5. Doesn't need to worry about the cue ball for the 5. Well, he's been in 8-ball championships before, but the one thing that was notable is that sometimes his shot choices weren't always the best in the world, and the execution of safeties was never the best thing either. That's where he's fallen short. Well, Larry gets out of this. This will be the great escape. This will be Steve McQueen in a motorbike. Although Steve McQueen didn't escape, so that was the wrong terminology to use. No, not Steve McQueen. What's the other guy? The guy that got away in a boat. He got away in a boat to Sweden or Italy or whatever it was. James Coburn. He escaped. So, Spectre Dawn breaking for the match. 8-0 up. Is there no push-outs in 8-ball world? No, tell a lie. How can it be? Why did I think that? I'm mixing it up with 10-ball. That's what I'm doing. Presumably the 3-ball. Aye, 3-ball's got plenty of room. Well, Larry's had, what would we say, he's had a couple of chances in the match. That one where he had the visit there and he was never in ideal shape. That was his best chance, believe it or not, to get a rack on the board. But apart from that, he's had very little to deal with. Although he might be getting a chance in a second or two here. What's Spectre Dawn looking at? Is he looking at cutting this into the side? Yeah, that was one too many. Well, the comeback is on, Larry. So he needs to go forward and not hook himself behind the 8 this time. Well, he hasn't done that. The problem, though, is 2 straight. He's going to have to try and pinch something here, and that's what happens when you try and pinch something. He tried a little bit of right to get around the jaws there. And it's game, set, match to Spectre Dawn with a 9-0 whitewash. Well, Larry, I can tell you one thing. You'll be glad this is all over, as I am. Because I can get to bed. Well, folks, that is it. Well done again. This is 2 weeks in a row. Spectre Dawn defends his title. How many more are going to get in next week and try and take it away from him? So Spectre Dawn wins this week's Friday Night 9-ball yet again. And that is it. So see you again on Sunday. So I will wish you good night. And we'll see you again soon. Take care.